What's up, guys? And we're back with another episode of Actormented. No, Actormented. That's how you. No, now I figured it out. I actually figured it out how to say it. It's Actormented. It's the way I actually thought about it since the beginning because I was like, how do you say tormented? And I was like, it's tormented. That's how you pronounce it. But I'm from Brazil, obviously. So, I was pronouncing it wrong, completely wrong. Okay, I'm warming up. All right. So let's jump into it, everybody. Stop dreaming big. No, seriously, stop dreaming big. Now it's not the time. Why am I saying that? They're like, this guy's crazy. He's talking a bunch of schnatzers. And no, you shouldn't dream big. At least not yet. Okay? I don't think people should dream big. Or at least not the way most people do. Why do I say that? What's the real problem of dreaming big? Okay? Because this career path, this industry that we picked involves dreaming really, really big because we know how competitive the industry is and we know it's really hard to get there where most actors want to get, right? So obviously we have that spark. We have all envisioned ourselves on that big stage, receiving that golden statue. We've all practiced our Oscar speech in front of the bathroom mirror. And don't lie to me, I know you've done it because I have. And it was a really good speech, by the way. Anyways, the problem with dreaming big all the time is that big dreams are too far away to process emotionally in our current state, in our current place in our careers. So when the goal feels unreachable, the brain defaults to overwhelm, procrastination, comparison. You start comparing yourself to other people on Instagram. I know you do that too because I do it. And it generates a quiet quitting. We've all been there. I know. I've been there. So I feel like that's a very easy way to get stuck on dreamland instead of moving forward. The key idea is that the bigger you dream, the easier it is to give up today because it just seems too far away. It seems too hard. I don't have what it takes. So yeah, that's my criticism. My criticism is progress doesn't come from the final objective. Progress comes from executing the next clear step. We have to climb up that ladder to get to that North Star over there, that objective, that little golden shiny thing that we're seeing there. You see all the big directors that you want to work with, they're all up there. All the big actors that we admire are up there. But if I'm looking up there all the time, I'm not seeing the next step. I'm going to trip and fall on my freaking face. So look down, look forward, look at the next steps you have to take. Okay. So when I say that, guys, when I say don't dream big, you're not killing your dream. You're protecting it from distractions, right? All you have to do is dream big once. You've established your goal. Your final objective is there. It's already imprinted in your subconscious mind. Now all you have to do, you have to create the next steps to get there. You have to create the system to get there. You have to pave the way. You have to pave the path, and you have to pay attention to the small details, okay? I usually say, if you can't memorize your audition lines, why are you practicing your Oscar speech in front of the mirror? Turn in that audition. Go do the work, That's more important than you dreaming about going up on that stage and holding that golden statue. I know it can sound frustrating sometimes. I know it feels good to dream big, right? But it could also be a trap. So be careful. Let's focus on stacking wins. The more wins you collect, the more victories you collect, the more confident you become, right? And it's easier to do that with small wins, small steps. So you're acquiring the knowledge, you're acquiring the confidence, the experience that's going to give you what you need to get there. Because confidence is a mindset. Confidence comes from evidence, and evidence comes from those small wins. Let's take a sip of my coffee. So you have to collect small wins, small victories in order to sharpen your tools and become more prepared to get there. And that's more important than dreaming big. That's what I believe. And this comes from personal experience. I got caught in dreamland for a long time, and it's frustrating because you don't focus on the work, on the small steps. And all of a sudden is that that quiet quitting that I talked about, that I mentioned. When you realize acting has become fifth place in your list of priorities, And you're like, okay, this is slowly fading away from my life now. And I don't know why. Because you're not focusing in the small steps. Because I'm not feeling like I'm having progress. We have to give ourselves a reality check. We have to understand the industry. So Hollywood doesn't cast potential or future Leo DiCaprio. It casts someone that they can place right now in the industry. They can cast you right now and perfectly place you to play this one character. So you have to understand your casting lane. What is your casting lane? Have you thought about that? What roles can you play? What roles can you be cast in that they can place you right now and you would do a great job at it? So this is important. The industry doesn't reward dreams. It rewards placement. You have to make it easier for them. You have to say, hey, here I am, and this is what I play, and I am this character. You can cast me right there. And you have to have that self-awareness. So you give that to casting. I think it's important to focus on the small details in the small victories. In order for us to get to the final boss, we have to understand the stage that we're in and how to beat it. Because we're just going to get stuck in that stage. It's like playing video games. You have to understand how to beat that stage. You don't fight the final boss on level 1. You have to level up. You have to level up. Otherwise, we're just going to, and I include myself in that too. We're just going to keep spinning our wheels on mud. Spin our wheels on mud. It sounds like a country song. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's a good way to see our career paths. We have to somehow understand that the small victories are a lot more important than the final objective. You don't want to get stuck in dreamland. And I know it starts with that dream. It starts with that big picture. It starts with acting. It starts with putting yourself in that situation. It's the magical if. What if I was there? Nominated for an Oscar for Best Actor in a Leading Role. I was working with Christopher Nolan or Ridley Scott or Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, David Fincher. What if I was working alongside Tom Hardy and Leo DiCaprio and Daniel Day-Lewis, Morgan Freeman? I don't know. I'm just naming my favorites. Cillian Murphy. It all starts with acting. You're placing yourself there in the given circumstances. And it feels good, guys. It feels really good. I've seen myself there. I used to go to when I lived in Hollywood, I used to walk to at the time it was a Kodak theater. It was an Adobe theater. And I used to just walk there and picture myself going up the stairs. I would even stop for pictures. I would imagine the whole circumstance of wearing the tuxedo, shaking hands with industry people and other actors and directors and producers. And my entourage was there with me. My family I would even get emotional, get to the top of those stairs at the entrance of the Dolby Theater. Yeah, it's a very attractive circumstance for actors. You can get there, but it's a journey. It's a long journey to get there. And I'm here breaking my head. I'm here just thinking really hard on how I can prepare and how can I become the person that I need to become in order to get there, in order to walk up and receive that prize and give my speech, my much weighted speech. But yeah, I think dreaming big is easy and it feels good. Doing the next step is hard. And that's why most people get stuck in dreaming. So I would say start asking yourself, what can I do today to change my reality? What is the next step I can do right now? So do the work. Pick up that script and read it. Memorize your lines. Go to class. Read. Watch movies. Be involved. Go to network events. Dream big once and then focus in the process and in the journey. That's it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed and I'll see you next time.